What's up, guys? It's Rick and you're on the Flip with Rick channel. And today we're talking about how to get to $1 million wholesaling in 2026. And I'm going to give you the most modern, the most update blueprint on actually how to get there. Because I got to be honest with you, I don't know, it's like this last week, but I've got like the weirdest questions. And keep in mind, I've been doing this for 24 years and I see your comments in there. I'm going to use some of your guys' comments to just prove my theory. So I was on last week. We talked a lot about this and let's cut to it. So if you got a question, do me a favor, just put it in the comments. That's the best place to do it. Make a friend. Let us know what market you're at. And let's learn all about wholesaling. So we're in 2026 in wholesaling. And I'm here to tell you the fundamentals have changed, but the game has definitely changed. And we want to dive into it today. So I need your participation and put in comments any questions you have. I'll do my best to answer them. And we are going to walk through it. Now, I've got 3 different phases we're going to walk this through because most of you just go, oh my God, like $1 million, it's crazy. And I'm waiting for the first comment for the graphic behind me. If you look behind me, I'm going to show my age here, but back in, I want to say it was, what was it? Like 2005, 6, whatever. There was a show called Do You Want to Be a Millionaire? And it was a game and everybody wanted to play. And the crazy thing is there was very few winners. And it's ironic we're here in 2026 talking about how to become a millionaire by using wholesaling. And I'm going to show you that you can actually win this game. You can win it. You can play it. You can win it. You can do everything. I've been doing it for 24 years, and I want to share today on actually how to do it. So I thought it was kind of a cool graphic because the craziest part is most of you guys would die to go on this game show to have a shot to win. Hey, every day you wake up, you have a shot at easily becoming a millionaire. And I'm telling you in 2026, I don't think it's ever been easier because $1 million is not what it used to be. So the bar's been lowered. The opportunities have increased. And you found wholesaling because it's a proven path to get financially free. The question is, how do I do this? And most of you just kind of like just dive into it. You start ripping through it and we get questions in here. Now, I'm not going to pick on people's questions. I think they're awesome. And I think you got a lot of guts to ask a question. But what if I told you 99.9% of the questions you guys have in the comments that are wholesaling, they're all in freewholesaling.com. So before we get into this, if I can't answer your question or I miss it, sometimes I don't answer the question because I do what's the benefit for the show for you guys. If I constantly answer the same question over and over, I just stop bringing value. So me and Zach, 5 years ago, we had a vision. We had a vision and we said, why don't we answer 99.9% of the questions and put it in a palatable format and just give it away to the people for free? And so if you see on the bottom, freewholesaling.com, if you're new to this channel, go there. But for God's sakes, do me a favor, stop grazing over it. We're going to go over that in detail. Honestly, if you want to learn how to do wholesaling, the easiest thing is to go over to freewholesaling.com. And I promise you, almost every question you will ever ask on this show will be on there. So the thing is, we only get like an hour, 20 hour, 30 minutes together. Like I like the course is so deep. I couldn't even slightly graze it in an hour and a half. So I just tried to pick out the key highlights. Anything I'm leaving out, just go over to freewholesaling.com. Hey, that's it. The show's over. I'm just kidding. So hopefully you guys are staying warm and we can get through this. Let me pull this up. Okay, I will do that. I promise. Okay. So there is no stupid question, but the question is, I find in today's society that people either like, they don't want to take the time to learn and read the material. And if I'm going to give it to you for free, most of your obstacles go, oh, this guy wants like 8 grand, 10 grand. I get it. But when I give you the information for free and you still don't pay attention and then you want it spoon fed, I don't know if like that's a new society problem, but we'll figure this out. So, okay, let's get going here. So, first of all, I want you to understand some basics here. Let me pull up my notes here. I always try to provide value with you guys. And if you like it, make sure you hit the like button, anything like that. So, either you found wholesaling, you found one of my crazy videos, you found definitely my son's crazy video, Zach. And I'm here to tell you it's 100% real. And there's been like this big movement in the last year or two. The people that were like the most influential before, like I really got in the space of being on YouTube and everything else, they're all telling you the opportunity's gone. You can't do it anymore. You got to do other things. Don't believe that, guys. It just means they can't sell courses anymore. And once they can't sell courses, they're going to pivot and they're going to pitch you something else. I'm always going to talk about wholesaling. I'm always going to talk about real estate deals. It's what's just set me apart from everybody else in my community, in my family, and obviously on the internet. So either people do it or they talk about it. I just do it. I've been doing it for 24 years and I love it. So I want to teach you the basics. So some of you go, $1 million, that's absolutely nuts. It's not. It's not at all. In fact, I'm telling you today, it's never been easier. So let's start out with this. If your goal is to make $1 million, I'm going to give you a really shocking statement right now. You're setting the bar very low. That's right. You have been surrounded by people your entire life that have told you $1 million is just an amazing amount of money. And I'm telling you, it's not. So let's figure out how to tackle this. Number one, you got to get out of your head that it's just like a crazy, crazy number. Does everybody understand that? So the first thing you got to understand is stop thinking $1 million is like a ton of money, because it's not anymore. There, I said it. And the reason why you think it's so much money is because the people that surround you think it's an impossible goal. I thought that for most of my childhood and adult life. And I'm here to tell you, once I got over it and once I did it, it was a piece of cake. The hardest part was just getting past my own mindset. So number one, please stop explaining like $1 million a lot. Regular workers on $100,000 salaries easily acquire $1 million. So if I can get it with a regular job, what do you think I can do as an entrepreneur? You see, if you think $1 million is a lot of money, it's like your mindset's already broken. So we got to address it. That's okay, because that's how I was. And I want you to understand, first things first, we have to take the $1 million and break it down in wholesaling. And it's so, so simple. And here's how it works. First things first, got to get to your first deal. How do I get to my first deal? Go over to freewholesaling.com and go through, listen to me. I know this is going to be painful. Go through the entire course from start to finish. And once you're done doing that, go back and do it all over again. And then to retain it again, do it all over again. Because this is not like high school, guys. This is not like college. Remember, all your preparation, all your studying was about what? Memorizing. When it comes to real business world, memorizing doesn't cut it. Memorizing is faking it. Think about all this chemistry, all the math classes, the algebra, the calculus, all that crap. All I did was memorize stuff. If you put a calculus book in front of me, I'd get my butt kicked. Actually, it kicked my butt in college, and I took it multiple times, and I've never applied it to my life yet. Most of you haven't. 98% of you haven't. There's a few engineers out there, I'm sure, that have. Maybe some chemists in chemistry. But the reality is, guys, you actually have to absorb the information. You have to retain it, and you have to live it and learn it. And if you just memorize something, that is not going to cut it. That's why most people fail going from our education system to the real business world. Because you don't get rewarded for memory. You get rewarded for repeating an action that actually makes you money. So first things first, we just got to get to the first deal. Our goal is $1 million. I get that. I'm telling you, it's really low. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest with you. You should blow through this goal pretty quickly, in my opinion. So get to our first deal. So I want to show you something real quick just to give you a graphical representation of how this works, because most of you don't wrap your mind around it, and you have to understand that. So let's see here. How can I put this up here? Okay. So let's add this. Wait a minute. So I want to show you a graphical representation because most of you don't understand this, and I'm here to tell you. So I'm going to take my little whiteboard on the screen here. So we go down here. Does everybody think they can make $100? Put it in the comments. Can you make $100? Just put a yes, put a Y, whatever. I just want you to understand this. Why? Because if you can make $100, you can make $1 million. Does everybody understand that? Because to make $100, everybody says they can't do it. I promise when you were a child, you thought $100 was like just incredible. Now, to make $1,000, what do? We just add another zero, right? So we're at 1,000. You kind of get the drift of where I'm going here. All we do is add zeros, guys. Now we're at 10K. And this was basically the 10K right here is going to be your first deal. Does everybody understand that? This is you as a kid, right? This is you as a teenager. Oh, $1,000. That's a lot of money. And then your first deal is going to represent that 10K. Now, your job is to take the 10K and just add another zero. But the reality is this first 10K from here over, it's the hardest because you don't know how to do it. It makes you very uncomfortable and it scares the crap out of you, right? So that's 10. Now, this is your first year in wholesaling. So guys, this is all we did was add zeros. And all I'm asking you when it comes to $1 million is if you just look at it, it's just a digit. That's all it is. Does everybody understand that? And guys, this one is just teaching you how to scale the techniques of wholesaling. And what if I told you this, that the $1 million is so much easier than the first 10 or the 100 grand? Because it's the honest to God truth. Because if you can't get to 10 grand or 100 grand, don't worry about $1 million because it's not going to happen. Let me pull this back here. Does everybody understand? All we are is adding zeros. And if you can get the basic skill sets on how to talk to sellers, find ones that need to sell their house, qualify them and help them solve their problem, how many more times can you do that over? Because once you do once, I promise you a light bulb will go off in your head. You're going to have faith when you start out wholesaling because you don't have any money. You haven't made any money. And all you got to do is solve that first one, right? So if we go back here again, let's look at this. I told you, all you have to do is get your first deal. Your first deal should get you close to 10K. Does everybody understand that? I'm telling you, if you will go through the journey of wholesaling and find a motivated seller that needs to sell their house and actually listen, hear them out, you're going to have to learn so many skills along the way, how to build rapport, how to connect with them, how to use your ears. Some of you guys talk too much and you're going to have to absorb the problem. And then you're going to have to turn around and find a solution for that seller. Because here's the best part is you have to learn the fundamental skill sets of wholesaling. You got to learn how to do basic comping. I say basic. You got to learn how to write a contract. First and foremost, you got to learn how to market. And once you do that, here's the crazy part is the answer, the solution actually lies in the seller, not you. It's just your skill set to evaluate, formulate, and problem solve. And you can only get that with this experience. So start out at freewholesaling.com and work your way backwards. But guys, first deal, can I get you to commit to the first deal? Because that first deal, as I said, we're going to turn 10 grand and then we're going to turn that 10 grand into 100 grand. And guys, this is simply called the hustle muscle. I got to grind this thing out and I got to figure it out. Here's the best part. Most of the time, when you get to around 100 grand, you've usually done a minimum of 5 deals. And you know what that means to me? That's 5 times you stepped up to the bat, you kicked ass, and you got it done. You lost your excuses and you decided, I'm going to face my fears. I'm going to deal with sellers because I want to get financially free. I want freedom of my time. And I'm tired of building other people's dreams. So I did it 5 times. Now, what you guys don't see, maybe you had 5 successes. I guarantee you're going to have thousands of failures behind those 5 successes. And most of you freak out when you have all these failures and you don't want to fail. Oh God, I'm so scared I'm going to fail. It's crazy. Do you understand? If you just thought you swung the bat 5 or 10 times, there'd be no point in doing wholesaling because everyone would do it. Guys, very few people can do this. I'm just going to be brutally honest with you. And you guys bring all your past experiences, all your excuses, all your experiences, and you try to equate it, and you have no experience in wholesaling. Tell you, if you did 5 deals, I put in the comments if you've done 5 deals, because you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to have thousands of failures behind it. You're going to have failed contracts. You're going to have people reject you. You're going to get like sworn at. People are going to question your ethics. Oh my God, you're one of these wholesalers. I don't give a crap. See, because if you can't get through those thousands to get to your first 5, don't even worry about it. Because most of you, I'm just going to tell you, you won't even fight to get your first deal because you've never been tested. You're scared to death and you don't want to get uncomfortable. Guys, I'm going to give you the blueprint to making $1 million, but if you can't forge through this, I had to go through it. My son had to go through it. Most of you on this live stream had to go through it. But put in the comments, if you've done 5 deals, I absolutely love you. I mean, first of all, I love everybody. But to me, that is the test that you can handle stress. So you have to get stress. And Lorraine's stuck on 4. She's going to have to fight like hell to get to 5. Now, she has a choice. She can quit or she can keep going through. I didn't tell you how easy those 5 are going to be. In fact, sometimes the first one, you guys get lucky. The second one scares the crap out of you. The third one, you're like, oh my God. Sometimes the fourth one is the worst one because it's like your obstacle to get the 5. So if I had a litmus test of people I was going to work with or even slightly bring you into my company, you can't do 5 deals. I don't even want to talk to you because that means you can't survive. Now, here's the best part is I never put an expiration on anyone. I don't pick up things as fast as everybody else. I know that. I learn differently. You guys know I got ADHD, all this other stuff. But the reality is fight like hell to get to 5. What do I mean? Get up every day, talk to sellers, and work your way through it. And if you're wildly consistent and you're taking massive action on a daily basis and you're learning and you're willing to fail, I've never seen anybody fail in wholesaling because we have to. So Andrew asks me, this is the crazy part. So who is this? No, Luke. I'm going to put this up here. Hold on. No, it was, let's see here. So Andrew, and by the way, Andrew, I appreciate it. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just going to make a point here. Hi, Rick. Is it updated? Because things have changed 5 years ago, as well as you know. Andrew, did you go through the course? Did you go through the course? Because I referenced when I recorded the course in almost every one of them. So I did the whole thing last summer. Is that fresh enough for you? Is 5 or 6 months fresh enough for you? Because the closest course to mine is 10 to 15 years old. And by the way, every 2 or 3 years, I update the whole thing. And whenever we have a change in anything, we update the module. So I appreciate it, Andrew. I'm not picking on you. My point is, most people can't even go through the entire course before they find a problem or an excuse with it. And honestly, even if it wasn't updated, if you learn from the fundamentals and I gave it to you free, would you be okay with it? Because honestly, I should just charge you 10 grand for the course because I have the most updated. Me and Zach have the most updated course. Andrew, I'm not picking on you. I'm just making a point. Because a lot of people are asking questions in here that just says, hey, um, you got so many questions about wholesaling, but like if I just sat here and answered question for question, I would go 24 hours a day and I wouldn't even slightly like make any damage. It's not effective. And here's the best part is it's not good for you because if you're spoon fed everything, then you don't learn anything. So do me a favor, make sure you go through the course in its entirety. And when you go through the course, you'll see fresh documents, everything, dates on it, and you can go from that. Um, so I'm looking at all the questions here. I'm going to highlight a few of them, and we'll get to it. So let's just keep going. Um, what's up, Joyce? Anyways, and then guys, so basically, our $1 million. Let me just rephrase here. So I got caught off track there. We're going to get our first deal. Then we're going to teach you how to scale it, not scale it. So going from 10,000 to 100,000 is all you. And that's why the key is like doing 5 deals. Now, here's the key. You're like, well, how the heck am I going to get from 100 grand to $1 million? You're just going to 10X it. How do you 10X it? You simply learn how to scale. You're going to have to learn marketing skill sets to 10X your effort without you having to work 300 hours a week. And that, my friends, is a skill set for someone that's going to survive wholesaling. Here's the problem. Most people want to figure out how to scale wholesaling without getting that first deal, that first 10 grand, that first 100 grand. And that's why most people fail in wholesaling. There is no shortcut. I know everyone wants to market it as a get rich quick scheme. It's not. It's actually quite the opposite. It's get rich slowly and like drive yourself nuts and feel poor as hell for 6 to 9 months. That's what it should be called. But you know why it's not called that? Because no course sells like that. Everything's get rich quick, wholesale profits, wholesale on the beach. I just think it's kind of funny. So if we understand that, I want to put something on the board here. So I'm going to put up a graphic and I want you, let me see how I can do this. Hell, let's give it the full screen. Okay. So you can see my screen here. I always talk about the difference between a marathon and a sprinter in wholesaling. And I want you to first look to the right. Here's what a sprinter does. They will never acknowledge there's a sacrifice. They've already made it because they spent 2 weeks looking for a wholesale deal. They get 1 or 2 deals. They flash their contracts everywhere. They record all these ridiculous videos. They might even become a coach. Yeah, that's very prominent. Everybody wants to be a real estate coach, but nobody wants to go through the sacrifice. Guys, I didn't even try to teach wholesaling until I was at least 10 years into it. And honestly, I didn't even feel that confident at that point doing it. I felt like I was just cracking the code on it. Then sprinters are always going to lie to themselves. They're never, ever going to confront the truth because if they did, they'd have to start all over. They're going to make a random marketing. They'll do a marketing blitz and they'll stop because once they get paid, they got to show it. And then they're going to brag to look impressive. They're going to take some action. And if you look on the bottom there, they're going to feed their ego like there's no tomorrow. Now, you're going to have to do the opposite to survive in wholesaling. This is what I call a marathon wholesaler. Accept the sacrifice because if you can't, you're going to be wildly disappointed. What do I mean by a sacrifice? The reality is if you can't give up 18 to 24 months of your life to really learn wholesaling, and here's the best part is you learn while you're doing it so you can make money while you're doing it, you're going to get killed. Remember, sprinters look good for a small set of time. They find one little niche thing they do well, and that's all they do is they run with it. We saw this from 2016 to 2021, 2022. All the guys and girls that did all these quick run wholesaling hits, every one of them had a course, every one of them had a seminar, all gone. Why? They're sprinters. They don't know how to make, they make one little money thing and they scale it in coaching, which they have the right to do it. I mean, but it's not going to last. because they're sprinting and they constantly have to reinvent themselves. They have to come up with new products and it never stops. So a marathon runner is going to make the sacrifice. And here's the best part is, do you see the difference is a marathon runner will expect to become rich, meaning they're going to do the things that enables them to become rich, live below their means, don't overspend, reinvest back in themselves, any profits they do. And if they got to live on ramen noodles, skip going out drinking at the bars with their friends and skip vacations for 2, 3, maybe even 5 years, they'll do it. I don't know, but a sprinter has to look rich now. They have some temporary money, so they're going to spend it. What are they going to do? Rent flashy cars, go on flashy vacations. And by the way, most sprinters, the easiest way to tell them is if they constantly reshoot the same thing over and over, a piece of real estate, if they keep showing the same flip over and over, just put 2 and 2. And by the way, anyone's own home is not an asset. It's not. It's a place you live. It's home. In my opinion, a home is probably one of your worst investments financially. From a peace of mind, having a safe place for your family, that's a whole different story. Homes are not investments. You can't write them off. There's not a big tax advantage on your own primary home, and it doesn't produce income. You want to fight me on this? Bring it on. I've owned so many homes. The ones I've made the most money are always on an investment property, never on my own home, because I can't write them off. So what's the point? Most people buy real estate to get the depreciation write-off and get the appreciation of the property. And the only way you can do that is with income. We ain't got that on that. So a marathon, they just don't make excuses and they tell themselves the truth every day. Excuses are just your ability to feed your ego. They're consistent and they don't compare themselves. Remember, if you're a sprinter, all you do is compare yourself because that's the only way you can figure out if you're worthy or not. Constant action, no ego. They focus on getting into their first deal. They don't care how ugly it looks. And they're going to fight like hell to reach their target of 100 grand. Because they know if they hit 100 grand, hitting $1 million is not going to be that big of a challenge. Because if you can go from 10 grand to 100 grand, 100 grand to the million is the exact same mentality. In fact, it's easier. The hardest money I ever made was my first 10,000. And then the even harder part of that was to turn the 10 grand into 100 grand. Once I did that, I didn't even think I like $1 million. I was kind of embarrassed at that number because I was going to hit it pretty quickly. And most of you have to understand that is the progression to make $1 million. But those of you that just want to run $1 million, you want to be a sprinter, go be a sprinter. I can't help anyone who's a sprinter. I wouldn't help anyone who wants to be a sprinter. Why? Because it's just fake. It's never going to last. It's not going to work, and you won't make it in this world. I'm just going to be honest with you. Because if you're a sprinter, you're going to sprint everything. You're going to sprint your friends. You're going to sprint your significant others. You're going to sprint your businesses. It means you're always trying to get to the top of the game without the sacrifice. And if you do that, you're going to have to either scam people or you're going to have to reinvent yourself. And here's the crazy part. If sprinters took that same energy and just dedicated towards a real wholesale business, they would win phenomenally. They just don't want to make the sacrifice and they can't let their ego go. So everybody understand that. So this is perfect. Here, like this is it. If you understand this mentality, what if I told you that first 10K to that first 100K is the hard climb? You do that. I guarantee you, if you can hit 100K, unless you just completely stop, you'll easily make $1 million. Does everybody understand that? It's just that simple. So let's get going here. Now that we know that, I'm going to give you musts. So I'm approaching this a little different. Now that you know the mind blueprint to do it, because that 10K to 100K is all you pushing yourself uphill. And then when we go from 100K to $1 million, we're going to teach you how the pulling works. Pulling is scaling. You're going to take those same skill sets and we're just going to multiply them with a lever that doesn't require all your energy, all your time, because you can't make it. This is how all good businesses work. I mean, how do you think companies are valued in the trillions of dollars? They don't do everything one by one. They figure out how to do automations, scalable events. They figure out how to hire an employee, and we're going to show you how to do all that. So if we understand that, the first things first, we have to understand what are the 4 musts of wholesaling. So you guys can put it in the comments. I've put these up before. It's just the God honest truth. Now, I'm going to give you relative information to 2026. So if you're just getting started in wholesaling, honestly, this could be the most valuable live stream you've seen all this year, and I promise you. So number 1, as I said earlier, the difference between always think like a marathon. And if you understand 10K, 100K, a million, and you want to run a marathon, what I'm about to teach you will honestly make you an incredible wholesaler. Because the people that I find that suffer the most in wholesaling, they don't get these points. Everybody wants to skip. I want to get $1 million, but I don't want to do any of the work. Okay. You're the same guy that wants to lose 50 pounds, but you want to eat Krispy Kreme donuts all day. I can't help you. Like, you're going to have to give up something. So the 4 musts, you ready for this? Number 1, you have to get to the truth in wholesaling as fast as you can. What do I mean by the truth? Truth is data. They are numbers. And here's the crazy part is numbers don't lie. Remember, data over drama. Not my saying. Another famous wholesalers, but I'll use it because it's accurate. Data over drama. Okay. Most of you are in the business of drama. Oh my God, my marketing didn't work. It's one day, for God's sakes. You had a 3-month plan and you don't freak out on the first day. So decide, are you on the data side or the drama? Because data will tell you the truth. Drama will just feed your ego. It'll lead you down the excuse train and you'll get nothing done. Does everybody understand that? Data over drama. But I'm here to tell you, most people are drama over data. I can just tell by the level of questions you guys ask how much you've really tried to do this. So the sooner you get to the truth, the sooner you'll be set free, the sooner you can solve a problem. If you don't have the truth, then you're going to fake it with drama the entire time. Oh my God, it's not fair. Here's my favorite part. Rick, I went to go get the government list and they gave me a hard time, or they told me the list didn't exist. Okay, well, what did I tell you in freewholesaling.com? Oh, that's right. You skipped that section. Now, A for effort of trying to go get the list. I'm not even going to knock it, but I already told you, you overcome resistance with persistence, and I tell you exactly how to do it. I never said you're going to get 100% cooperation on the list. That's you guys taking your school mentality and trying to get 100% on a quiz. It doesn't work in the real world like that. You get 60, 70%, God bless you. He or she that goes out and makes the highest effort and is persistent and resourceful gets the government list, gets the best motivated sellers. If you can't handle a no or rejection or anything like that, that's it. And by the way, when they tell you a list doesn't exist, use your common sense. They have an entire code violation department. They have an entire staff they have on payroll, and they're going to tell you that list doesn't exist. Yet they'll go knock on your door and give you a big fat fine for painting your house purple. Rightfully so. So overcome resistance with persistence. That's part of the marketing section that I teach you. What's going to happen? You go out and go to those lists. But you decided how hard can it be to get a list, and you used your own mindset to get that list, and you want to know why the rejection hurts you so bad. So you see how I'm telling you the truth? I had to learn this the hard way. So expect it, prepare for it, and deal with it. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? God, I feel like I'm in like a UFC fight corner trying to tell you how to get through on this. So if we understand that, get to the truth as fast as you can. Number 2, for God's sakes, get your priorities straight. When you get into wholesaling, if you think you're going to live your previous life exactly the way you did, honestly, it's going to disappoint you so bad. It's going to be so painful, and it's not going to work. So what do I mean by that? What are your priorities? Let me ask you, brutally honest with you. I would love for someone to pop their phone up on the screen. Why don't you guys do an exercise? Look on your screen and look at the percentage of time you've been on social media doom scrolling. Guys, I get caught doing it. I limit my phone on purpose. I have ADHD. You get me doom scrolling, I can get in trouble quickly, especially on boating and fishing videos. Um, it's so here it is. Good. See, we're getting to the truth. This person here, they're not cut out for wholesaling. It's dead. But I just did 7 deals. So who are you going to believe? I've done this 24 years. AVH123. How long have you done this for? It's dead. You know what? You're dead because you're not committed to wholesaling. You tried it, didn't work out the way you wanted it. Dude, I'm just giving you truth serum. Like some of you guys just can't handle it. I know it. Like honestly, AVH, tell me how long you've been doing this. Tell me, put it up there. Tell me you've grinded it out. It's dead. And here's the problem with this person. By the way, I do appreciate the comment. I'm not picking on you. I'm trying to motivate you to understanding. If you think it's dead, like what else? Let me guess. Is everything else a scam? I got to go out and work. I'm going to do exactly what mommy and daddy told me to do. Go be a good little worker. Go pay your taxes. Go get your 401k. Because you won't work for me with that attitude. It's the truth. It's dead. It's dead. But here I am buried in deals. I am buried in deals, guys. I'm doing everything I can to almost say no to deals. And I have no problem doing them. Why? Because I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly how to wholesaling. And I made a huge sacrifice. And I'm trying to motivate someone here to comments like this. It's just child's play to me. It's dead. Why is it dead? You're dead. You don't work. You thought you were going to come in and get super rich, right? Let me guess. Still watching your Netflix though, right? Why didn't you switch out Netflix for freewholesaling.com? Oh, one pays you and the other one you have to pay it. So when you start switching over your priorities and invest in yourself and your time, things will change. You have to understand, ask Mark what it takes. Ask Lucas what he takes. Now, listen, I love the truth of this. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. But the reality is I could probably dig deeper. I know I could help you out. I've never disappointed anyone that invests in themselves. Now, I'm not the guy who wants to charge you 10 grand. That's not my purpose here. This is what every other guru does. But the reality is, if I dug in, you said it's dead, and I said, AVH123, come on the live stream. Actually, if you want, I'll put an invite. Okay. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is now. Wow, watch this. I'm going to throw it out there. So AVH, if you want to test me, I'll put my money where my mouth is. If you want to come on the live stream, I will be nothing but positive and nice, but I'm not letting you off the hook. If you think it's dead, I want to walk through everything you've done. And I'm not going to let you off the hook. I want to know how many calls you made, how many texts you sent. I want to see any of your records. I want to see your CRM, XLeads, whatever you use. PropStream, I don't give a crap. Podio, show me it. Because 1 year, you should have an incredible amount of data. But I'm willing to guess we're going to get a lot more drama than we are data, because you're telling me wholesaling is dead. How can it be dead with all these people being successful at it? So I put the invite up there. If actually, yeah, it's right up there. If you want to jump in there, dude, I'll be nothing but respectful to you. I'm trying to help you out. But it's comments like that I've got to make a point with people to let them know. So Choice puts in the time. He can tell you it's not super easy. Right, Choice? I've met Choice in person. He knows it's work. He's got frustrating times. Okay. So, hey, dude, you're going to put a comment out there. But by the way, I do appreciate you. I'm not picking on you, but I'm just telling you. Hey, AVH3, tell me how old you are. Put it in the comments, because I want to help you. I want to bring everybody up with me. But the problem is when you start saying things are dead, doesn't work, that's your excuse train going over and over and over again. And all it does is soothe your ego. So, like, look at this. It's not just me, guys. So, so if it was AVH, I was going to put on the H. So, like, he's watching it, which I'm great, but like, you got to take the action. You got to get this going. Okay, let's get back to this. So, dude, 21. But by the way, AVH, I didn't wake up till I was 33. I didn't wake up till I was 33. And by the way, I appreciate what you do, but you're going to have to find a way to put in the work and get stuff done. So, maybe we can connect somewhere else on here and I can help you out. But like, it's, okay. I'm marking, I'm getting off key here. So by the way, AVH, I want you to win. That's like, I'm not picking on you. But anybody else I can bring up, but once you label something as dead, and I've proved 24 years, I mean, I got plenty of assets. I own plenty of real estate. I can go fishing anytime I want. I've got a beautiful boat, beautiful dock, everything I want. I used wholesaling to leverage everything I want. Because at the end of the day, money's not everything to me. I know, AVH, you want freedom of your time. But if you go around saying wholesaling is dead, and you said you've done a year, I would love to see what you did in a year. So we got to get our priorities straight. You got to switch out Netflix. Do you know, for 5 years, ready for this? I never went on one vacation. I lived so far below my needs. And check this out. I shared a car with my wife. Oh my God. Why? We just thought, since I worked at home, we traveled, and my wife was with me, we just decided to sell one of the cars, save some money, and just double down on our marketing and how we did wholesaling. And guess what? I got laughed at. My buddies made fun of me. My family made fun of me. Everybody made fun of me. But guess what? Who's laughing now? I made an incredible sacrifice, and it was worth every penny, and I would do it all over again. And guys, I did it while I had a mortgage, while I had 2 young kids, and I had a lot of debt. AVH is only 21. And dude, you're going to get a 12-year head start on me. I hope you figure it out. But I'm telling you, you have to get your priorities straight, guys. Got an itch. Sorry. Most of you don't have them straight. You say you want to do wholesaling, but when it gets down to it, do you actually do it? Okay, let's keep moving. Number 3, marketing myths of wholesaling. Guys, use the comments and tell me what you think in marketing and wholesaling just doesn't work in 2026. Now, it might have worked previously. And these are the little sprinters that squeeze in on you. These are the people that never really do wholesaling, but they want to sell you everything wholesaling related. Put in the comments, because I'm going to pop them up here. And most of you guys know this, but I want to be very specific for 2026. So let's just eliminate what the heck doesn't work anymore. It used to work in the past. It doesn't work anymore. Because do you see the word myths? I know it works. You know why? Because I use data over drama. But most of you read crap on the internet and you assume the drama is everything. It's truthful. Let me ask you, if I asked you a question, here's how I look at everybody. And most of you need to do this. If somebody makes a comment to me, like say my good friend Lucas, great guy, great family, awesome. Loves his family. It's his commitment. That's why I love him in wholesaling. But if Lucas tells me something and I'm not sure it's true and it doesn't sound quite right, I'm just going to ask myself this question every time. This saves me every time. And me and Zach commit to this philosophy. Why would I believe him? And unless Luca can show me the data and minimize the drama, I will not believe him. Even if I'm friends with him, I won't believe him. I don't give anyone a pass anymore. That's fine. Hey, you do more wholesaling? That's great. I'm not here to brag, but if you're telling me you do like 12 million, show me. Simple. It's real simple. Guarantee you got a balance sheet. Guarantee you got a P&L. Guarantee you got an office, a staff. Who do you use for payroll? Oh, I don't do payroll. There's no way you do 12 million without payroll. It's physically impossible. You can't 1099 that many people. It just doesn't work. Does everybody understand the marketing miss? We have to understand it. So let's see what here. Um, okay. You know what? I agree. Well, some of them are dead, but Mark puts this per, you have to trust. I'll give you temporary trust, but I'm not going to act on it without a verification process. So before I even go into business with people, do you know I do a background check on them? Why would you do that? It costs me $75 because I do the whole 9 yards. Federal, state, local, everything. Because you know what? $75 a lot cheaper than losing millions of dollars with a bad business partner. End of stories. Everybody understand that? I do, Mark. You can tell someone's been next to Alex or Mosey. But I learned this a long time ago is you can't believe everything everybody tells you until they can actually show it to you at some time. That's like having, like, don't take this personal. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Having a super fat person teach you how to become thin. I'll show you how to do it. I'm like, no, 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 no. You actually have to do it. Then you could teach me. But if you can't do it, how on earth are you going to teach me to do it? It drives me nuts. So if we understand that, we have to verify. So you guys see a million ads on PPC. This is pay per click. You will never, ever find out if there's a return on the investment. You know why? Because it's bad. You see, good marketing avenues advertise a return on investment and they show proof and they verify it. The problem with PPC is it's an entirely separate business, even though it's marketing. And you have to have the brain power and the mindset to learn how to operate in an advertiser's world online, which is a business in itself. So unless you have a business partner that's going to run that part for you and do the whole thing, listen to me. I guarantee you're going to get killed. I've tried, I've done everything. I recently went to an event. They said PPC, anybody can do it. The guy was charging 10K up front. Of course. Just do the numbers. If everybody pays me 10K and 1 out of like 30 hit, I'm a superstar. I'll look all it, and then you see all the people that hit it. But you'll never get a return on investment on it, ever. And if you understand that, don't do it, guys. Because here's the key with PPC. You're either going to pay somebody 10 grand up front to try to teach it to you. You're going to have to hire someone because it's a full-time job for the most part. Then they're going to teach you how to get deals all over the nation. But you're going to wind up in these rural markets because it's the only ones you can afford to do because you ain't got 50, 60 grand a month to advertise because that's what it takes to win in this. I love PPC, but we outbid ourselves on it and it just doesn't work. Or you can get these ad agencies, and it's the same thing every time. They're all SaaS companies. And they're like, give me 5 grand up front and then we'll run your campaign and give me 6. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, guys, pay per click. Unless you are in that business and you already have a couple thousand hours under your belt, you are going to get schooled so fast and you smoke through money and you're not playing with house money. You're paying with real money. And the learning curve is extremely steep on it. And in markets like the ones I'm in, it doesn't even make financial sense to bid on the words because on average, it can cost me anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000 for one deal. Why on earth would I do that? It's crazy. Let's jump to the next one. PPL. Anybody knows what PPL stands for? It's called pay per lead. And you know what? I stayed away from this for a long time. I had to deep dive it in 2025. I spent a bunch of money and I'm not going to name any companies' names or anything, but wow. I mean, Jesus. So someone says, hey, listen, it's pay per lead. What if I told you this? I got a new name for it. You ready? That's the correct name, by the way. I appreciate it. It's pay per lawsuit because that's what you're going to get when you get them. This entire industry for 5 years, which by the way, marketers came up with it that never wholesaled a day in their life. And they go, These wholesalers will do anything to get a motivated seller leads. Let's sell it to them. And it's brilliant. I can't even blame them. But whenever you have a marketer come after marketers that are inexperienced, we're always going to get killed. So I'm a marketer professional. This is how I'm connecting with you. So on a PPL, you have no idea where the leads derive from. There's no transparency at all. You think they have their entire staff working, spending millions of dollars to generate leads. They're just brokers, guys. They're just the middleman, middlewoman, middleman. You can call them whatever you want. And then the thing is, you don't even know what you're buying. And for the most part, you're buying old expired cold call leads, or maybe if it's a fresh cold call lead, you have to bid it up and pay $100 to $300 for it. And you're never going to win with those numbers. No ROI means no deal, no dice, and you're done. And I'm telling you right now, the PPL, everybody thought this was the saving grace. Nobody in 5 years has given me a return on investment. In fact, I recently saw a social media person who basically promotes pay per leads. I've seen multiple people do it. I think they made 30, 40 phone calls. They didn't get one lead. I'm thinking like $250 a lead. Let me do some math here. By the way, the reason they're calling is because they get the leads for free. So if we understand that, let me do it. Let's just call them let's call it $200 a lead. Say you got an exclusive lead. And by the way, when they call on these leads, they're getting the best premium leads that are supposed to be exclusive. Say 40, that's $8,000 without getting a lead. How long are you going to last in wholesaling doing that? The bottom line, guys, I'm going to put it right here. PPC, PPL, there's no ROI. No one will show it. No one will let anyone do a study. The only thing they do is let people that promote the affiliate sales, they get them for free. So they can just rip through phone call. And I've yet to see a wholesaler build an entire business around PPL. It just doesn't work. PPC is just too expensive. It works. It's just too expensive. And the reality is anyone that promotes like the PPL stuff, they have a very deep coaching program and they're making the money off the affiliates. It's just the truth. It's not even a bad plan. But the problem is right now is if you guys look behind the cover, which I have, and I'm being polite, I could share them because they're not my lawsuits. The amount of lawsuits that these companies are basically creating for you, the wholesaler. Did you know when you take those leads, because you don't derive them for yourself, most of you are violating TCPA laws that you don't even know you're doing it. And when you get attacked with a litigator, and you'll know when you do, it'll be no doubt, because I know I have been. You're going to have to cut them a big fat check, usually around 10 to 15K, or they're going to drag you in the court. And when they drag you in the court, they're going to go after you personally, because that's how they do it. And that's how they leverage you. And most of these companies say, oh, we'll cover it. We're compliant. They're not compliant at all. Most of them aren't even in the United States, meaning they don't even derive. They might have US companies, but let me ask you, if you sue me personally and I don't live in the United States, can you come get my assets? The answer is no. So who's at risk here? And that's the crazy part about it. And most of you, like any of these, like where you're buying the leads in bulk, like, why do you think we tried it temporarily and we just decided the risk was just too great and we didn't want to expose you? And sometimes it takes a real person, a real adult, a real man to step up and go, you know what? We just got to do the right thing. I know I've done it, but there's people on the internet that just decided they don't give a crap. I promise you the lawsuits will be in the thousands, not a few here and there. They'll be in the thousands. They'll be everywhere. So guys, there's no ROI on them. That's why they don't work. And that's why they're marketed. If 1 out of 50 people make a hit and they get a deal, which is possible, that means 49 other people lost that actually really tried. So how do we fix this? It's real simple. It's real simple. Everybody understand on PPC, PPL, it's not just my opinion anymore. The data is out. And there is no data for it. In 5 years, there's no data. Would you ever invest in a stock or a fund that wouldn't give you the ROI over the last 5 years? It's painful. It's painful. We have to understand that. So, Mark's right. You're better off going to Vegas. At least you'll have fun. You ever get sued, man? It's just painful. And the worst is when you get sued and you didn't even know you had the potential to be sued for something. So guys, always we want to derive your leads. So let's get through this. I got a lot to get through. So real quick. So now we know what doesn't work. Just don't do those. That's sometimes it's just a process of elimination. You can figure out how to be successful in wholesaling. So let's talk about fake wholesaling strategies. What do I mean by this? These are strategies that people have tied into wholesaling that have absolutely nothing to do with wholesaling. And these are the people that come in, they do the sprint wholesaling, they have a niche, and then they disappear because it doesn't work anymore. Wholesaling works 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no in and out in wholesaling. Everybody does it. We buy distressed properties, people who need to sell. Now, in the last really 5 years, I've never seen this more prominent than ever. But here we are in 2026, and suddenly not a peep about them. Let's roll through them. Ready? Number one, Airbnb. Honestly, I knew this was a disaster from day one. Why don't we just pay more for the property and then we can press more income on it? Airbnbs are being outlawed over the country. Major metropolitan cities are just marking them out. And in my play, the only real design for Airbnb was like destination properties, the Keys, Vegas, Santa Barbara, like waterfront, mountain front ski resorts. Those would always get a premium, and that's what it was designed for. But no. Someone decided they were going to take a home in Port St. Lucie and call it an Airbnb, and we're going to get $200 a night. Dude, that doesn't work out. So too many investors came in, overpaid for properties from really 2015 to 2023, 24. And all those properties are on the market now. They can't make money. They're being foreclosed on. It's a complete crap show. It's terrible. Why did you, if you think you press the income up on the, you're better off finding people that need to sell their house and selling it quickly, or even doing a light wholesale. I'd rather buy down here and come up here. But no, here's the strategy with Airbnb. You can't buy here, so buy here and then get income here. Well, how long do you think you can get income at the top? COVID's over, guys. This stuff is such a problem in our entire country. It'll be another 3 years through they wash through all this inventory. In 2026 is when the chickens come home to roost for Airbnb. It's bad. Now, it gets worse. Someone decided to go, why don't we do a pad split? Dude, it's the same thing as Airbnb. And everyone's like, oh, it's affordable housing. No, it's not. You're just trying to put upward pressure on the income of the property so you can pay more for the property. So let me ask you, do you want a house in your neighborhood with 9 different families and 9 different bedrooms? I don't know about you, but that's called a rooming house. And there's very strong laws in the United States against it. But they found a piece of paperwork where it's basically like a hotel. It voids the insurance on the house. Honestly, it breaks most city and county codes. And honestly, what happens if somebody gets in a fight, or God forbid, someone gets hurt or killed? It is the most litigious way you can buy a property, in my opinion. And if you ever shared it with an insurance company, there's no way in the world they would insure. Nobody wants to insure massive risk. Pad split, in my idea, is one of the worst ideas I've ever seen. I will stick with all day. Let me ask you this. Who wants to live in a rooming house? Who wants to live, what do they call it? A hostel, like when you go over to Europe and stuff like that. But they're trying to bring these into regular families. And the entire justification is we need more cash flow because we got to pay more for the property. No, let the market work itself out, come back as a wholesaler, and then buy it low and sell it medium. But no, they pad split. They want you to buy it high and rent it out at crazy numbers, like $1,000 a room. They go, I've got 5 rooms. That's $5,000. I go, yeah, but that house only rents for $2,500 normally. I go, I know. That's why I'm going to do pad split. It's a great idea. I saw a course on it. I'm so excited. Not wholesaling, guys. I mean, I think it's one of the worst ideas I've ever seen. By the way, pad split. So like sober houses, and that's what they're turning into a lot. And listen, I don't got a problem with anyone who wants to get sober, get it. But please don't bring it in neighborhoods that didn't ask for it, that aren't licensed for it, that don't have the right insurance, don't have the right supervision. It's just a recipe for disaster. So we have to understand. I'm marking you guys questions. Let's keep moving here. So, but do you see pad split opens up? Hey, I can do a sober house. And I remember back in 2005, I bought a house that was perfect for a sober house. And I had somebody that wanted, I actually wound up doing a wholesale on it. And I noticed 3 of the offers were from like sober house companies. And I made an ethical decision not to do it because the neighbors were like, please, God, please don't sell it to a sober. And I couldn't sleep at night because it's not that I have a problem that people are trying to clean their lives up. The question is, do you have the facilities? Do you have the supervision? Do you have the insurance to make sure the entire community is protected? Pad split Airbnb is reckless. And by the way, when you're done with those two, if you survive not losing money, by the time you pay your 15 to 19% fees to these companies, they're going to bleed you dry of the cash flow. And by the way, Airbnb, they could care less if you're happy as a host. They are more on the guest side. I've had it happen to me multiple times. I don't do Airbnb anymore. And I have waterfront, beautiful properties by the beach. I will not use an Airbnb. I've lost every dispute I've ever had with them. I've had people trash a house and they always side with the guest. Last one, novations. All of a sudden, not a peep on novations. Now, novations work. It's not a wholesaling strategy. It has nothing to do with wholesaling at all. Zero. By the way, Airbnb pad split, I'll sell my wholesale deals all day long. Novations is a retail strategy. It doesn't belong in wholesaling. And you guys trying to build your entire business around it because you don't want to do wholesale, I refer you back to what are your priorities? Make the sacrifice. And I'm telling you, if you get rid of all this crap out of your head, you're like, all fingers point back to wholesaling when you do this stuff. Let me bring up another one because this one's going to be a little bit controversial, but I'll throw it out there anyways. Bear with me here. Okay. And I wasn't going to do this, but it's like, it's bothering me now. Creative deals, creative finance. Why do wholesale when I can just do creative finance? Let me tell you what the pulse to do a creative finance deal is. Somebody signed a deal with me. I won a creative. Yay! You didn't win crap, dude. I'm in a process of helping somebody unload 42 creative finance deals, mostly subject to. Why? They don't cash flow. They can't make them work. And the houses are going back into foreclosure. So what they did to solve an original problem, they made it 10 times worse. And by the way, I wish it was just one time. Every 10 deals, I have somebody come up with a creative financing deal that's not working out. Bottom line, guys, is most creative finance people, the people that tell you they're so wildly successful in them, they're not cash flowing. They're not making money. They don't make money up front. They don't make money in the middle, and they never get to the end to get their cash out check. And if you don't know what you're doing in creative financing, it is a recipe for disaster. The problem with it, there's no barrier to entry. People are getting with no money. They're teaching you how to borrow other people's money. And people, like, think about this. For the most part, if I bought a property with 5% down and say I lost my job or the property didn't work out, maybe it's a bad rental. Why on earth you, the wholesaler, want to take over such a bad deal? Oh, I bought a course. I have people supporting me. I can't listen to me. I can't find a lot of people making money with creative financing. I do creative financing. I'm very selective because I got burnt back in 2006 on it. I did the same thing. I went out and bought 10 deals, and you know what happened when the market turned 2 years later, and I got caught in the worst possible case scenario I could. I couldn't rent them. I couldn't cover the mortgages, and I had to deed the properties back. Because I sat down with the lawyer, he goes, you better do the right thing. You're going to wind up in court. And I'm happy I did. It was extremely painful, but I learned a lot. Creative finance deals find me through my wholesaling activities. I don't go out and just try to find creative finance deals because you're asking for trouble. If you don't have the experience and you haven't taken down a lot of deals, you don't know what you're getting into. And most of you who take on creative financing don't have a couple $100,000 sitting around in the bank to cover those rehabs, the repairs, the vacancies, the unexpected tax increase bill because you're an investor. And when the surprises come and the insurance bill comes, you stop paying them, you're going to lose that house. And I love creative financing. I don't think it ever belongs in a beginner's. If you've never done a deal and you think wholesaling is too hard and you're just going to go to creative financing, I already know the outcome. Now, I know there's exceptions, but I'm giving you, if I met 10 people that took creative financing to skipped wholesaling, they're usually not going to make it. It's just the God honest truth. And I want everybody to understand this. So, all these things I just told you right here. And by the way, of everything is creative financing works. And if you're successful at wholesaling, I know you can do creative financing. But if you can't make money the day you buy it every month, and when you sell it, it's not a good deal. I'm sorry. Now, if you have a ton of cash and you want to get depreciation right off, it's a whole different strategy. But most of us don't have millions in the bank. And honestly, I got plenty of money in the bank. I don't want to buy crappy deals. If you're upside down in the house, I don't care if the interest rate is like 0.001. If you paid $300,000 for a house, it's only worth 200. Why on earth am I going to buy that deal? It's terrible. And they go, oh my God, it's a subject too low. I only got to give the guy 30 grand. I'm like, So I love creative financing, but most of you, I got to get you wrapped around getting your first deal, getting your first 100 grand. And along the way, when some deal comes along and the creative financing is the right strategy and it works perfectly for the seller and you can make money with it, go for it. But guys, if you can't make money, don't do it. Rent to own, by the way, is an exit strategy. But I do legitimate rent to owns because when I do a rent to own, I have yet to fail selling someone that house. And by the way, I've had a lot of people hiccup. Why? Because I want it to win. I want the house to appraise and I want it to work. Let's keep going here. Now, how do we do this? So I've given you everything that doesn't work in 2026. And this is real-time data, guys. This is not my opinion. This is fact. And it's not just my thoughts on this. But if you want to do them and get distracted and waste your time, do all the stuff I just told you before. Here's simply how you do it. I'm giving you a rundown of the list. Here's the strategy. Number one, niche lists are everything in 2026. If you want to learn how to do niche lists, simply go over to freewholesaling.com and I put every one of them in there for you. Now, I have noticed a trend going into 2026. Our niche lists are outperforming every other avenue, hands down. I don't know the multiple because I got to get all the deals closed. But what do I mean by niche lists? Well, probate's nothing new. I'm not going to sit here and brag on I love probate. You take a probate, you take a foreclosure and like one of the tax delinquents and you blend those lists and you do a nationwide search. Rick, how do I do that? I don't know. Just go over to XLeads. You can do it there. By the way, using a robust marketing software to get your stuff nationwide is paying huge dividends for us. And honestly, I couldn't be happier what's going on XLeads. You guys can get a basic account. You get 25,000 leads to work a month. You Skiptrace them. You get AI follow-up. You get all the workflows built into it. You get the e-sign in there. That mixed in with your niche list, guys, I couldn't even tell you how much. And by the way, my niche list, my worst deal on my niche list is 36,000. I still do regular wholesale, but like I much prefer a niche list over it. They take more work, a little bit more effort. But here's the best part is I don't have to call 10,000 people on a niche list. I'm calling maybe 2,500, 3,000 max. And we're going deep with them and we get them. They're big problems, but we solve them. And by the way, if you like, Rick, how do I solve a big problem? Here's how you do it. You JV the deal. JV with me and Zach. If you're in our NTM group, we got like more deals than we know what to do with. But like, I love it. I'm hiring 4 new people in this next 2 weeks. And I am staffing up to handle all this stuff. Guys, 2026, I'm just telling you, inventory's rising, days on market's out of control, and prices are plummeting. I tell you, in Florida, Texas, it's game on right now, man. It is fun. Like, honestly, we're working to get the buyers, but interest rates should change here. spring breaks, Florida gets unfrozen for the first time in a week. And I tell you guys, JV Deals has made a tremendous difference to my wholesaling operation because I can do it nationwide. I don't think you can do nationwide wholesaling without doing JV partnerships. Okay. And that leads me to the next one. You guys know you could use your XLeads account and do your earn and learn programs. What is that? Well, if you got, say the X plan, you get 65,000 leads a month. Let's be brutally honest. Are you really going to use 65,000 leads a month? Because it resets every 30 days. Hand leads out to people. If I had that one, I'd give someone 3,000 or 1,000 Skiptrace leads on like the foreclosure list, tax delinquency, whatever. I do it nationwide, and I would have them just all call. And call me back when you get a deal, and we'll split it with you. Now, you're going to have to go through a lot of people to do that. And I call it earn and learn. And if we do a deal, you can split it with them. You give them $1,000 marketing fee. It doesn't matter. We used to call it bird dogging back in the day. I just call it earn and learn. And by the way, you can build the entire site inside of your XLeads account. You can do a simple Google form landing page where they put it in there. There's so many Google spreadsheets. Dude, learn and earn. This is how I used to pick up an extra 10 to 12 deals a year. Remember, I skipped Netflix. I skipped going to the bars, going out, and I skipped vacations. And ramen noodles was my best friend. I had little Zachy at the time. He's 3, man. Like I had to, guys, do you think my son's in his position without me making a sacrifice? And to be fair, he made a huge sacrifice too. Why? Because he saw his dad make a sacrifice, and that's all he knew. But most of you are out there just partying on the weekends. You're having a good time. You're going to Vegas. No knock on Mark. Keep going to Vegas. But you guys have to take a step back to get what you want. What do you think about like ball players? You think a pitcher on a baseball team on the Major League Baseball, do you think that those guys sacrificed their entire youth to train to be an incredible pitcher and a very, very slim odds? Guys, who wants to be a millionaire? It's right here. The difference is, do you want to go to a game show and like have 1 out of 100 win? You can win this so easily. I'm here to tell you, there's no problem to it. So I told you about the earn and learn. The next one is, then you're going to learn how to scale. I'm telling you in 2026, hear me out. I know direct mail is old school. I've been doing it for almost over 20 years now. It works. It's legal. You can't get sued. You derive your own leads. You pick your market. You take your XLeads list and you do it. Is it for a beginner? Absolutely not. Is it for someone that gets close to 2 to 3 deals done? I would do it in a heartbeat because it will accelerate. It will give you the lift you need, and it'll give you the scalability. So if you guys work with me and Zach, I show you exactly how to do it. I love direct mail just because I can make someone $1 million with their eyes shut. But they're going to have to change how they operate. They're going to have to learn that direct mail is an investment, not a cost. And once you understand to do it, knowing with the crap show you got to go through with PPL and PPC, direct mail is super attractive. And by the way, I get a 5 to 6 times returns ROI on my direct mail, and I prove the numbers every year. I show you the numbers. It's not just me. 70% of all wholesale deals come from direct mail, from the big time operators in wholesaling. Why? Because they all know the secret, and it's not a secret. It's scalable, it's legal, and anybody can do it that will invest in themselves and invest in the system and a follow-up. So I wouldn't do it without a robust system like XLeads or anything like that. But I'm telling you, all these people like spit and stepped on direct mail. And here we are 5 years later. Who's the only one left standing? Direct mail, hands down. And by the way, we're finishing up the prototypes right now. We're doing a bunch of test campaigns. The direct mail is going to be inside of XLeads for you. So we can show you how to do it, how to scale your campaigns. You can buy your phone numbers in there. You can actually create your mailer in there. And by the way, guys, I only do postcards. People tell you it costs $1 to mail in direct mail. It means they haven't mailed in like 5 years. We do postcards. The most it usually costs you about 60 cents. Still high dollar, but like it's legal and I don't have to worry about being sued like PPL. By the way, when PPL ever decides to come out and tell the truth about everything, we'll reconsider it. But I'd have to start with an ROI, and I've yet, by the way, crickets. I ask them all the time, can you give me statistics like spreadsheets with receipts and bank accounts to see what the ROI is? And And the thing is, when people don't want to give you the ROI, it means it doesn't exist. If it was a great investment, they would put it on the front page of all their marketing stuff. But um, it's crazy. Okay, let me jump over to the comments, and let's see if we can answer some questions here. So, guys, a lot of the stuff I talked to, you can go into freewholesaling.com for God's sake. And by the way, here's a stat for you. Like, and I got shared to me yesterday. People that go all the way through the free wholesaling course, 100%. And by the way, did you know we can see on our side what percentage of the course you actually watch? I can't tell what you retain. I can also tell you how many times and how many hours you refer to the course. People that go all the way through the course, 100% of it, every one of the modules, 98% of them make it to 100K with their eyes shut. Think about that for a second. Because a lot of you are like, hey, Rick, how do I do this? Or like, how do I get the government list? How do I, like, they told me no, or what do I do? What do I tell the buyer? Dude, everything's in there. Like, you've got to go through the course. I can't make you do this. I can't make you do this. Go over to the course. Let's check some questions here. Yeah, no. It's postcard, buddy. It's postcard. It's a whole different rate. And the way we set it up, we do return mail, but like I can go through it, but if, so here's another question. And can you send me a list? If I get X leads today, will I be able to get either 23 or 2 to 3 leads in my first month? Anybody want to answer this one for me? Anyone? Because this is, and by the way, I'm not picking, but I'm making an example. You are using your old self and trying to come in the wholesaling. You want all these guarantees. You want to know everything's going to work out perfect. What if I told you it might not work out in the first month? It might not work out in the second month, but by God, if you show up every month, it will work out. So everybody wants these guarantees. Rick, how many cold calls I got to make before I get my first deal? Marathon versus a sprinter. A sprinter is going to ask a question like this, and I'm just being brutally honest. You have to show up every month. You might get it in the first month. It might be month 10 or 11. I don't know. I don't know what market you're doing. Have you gone through the entire course? There's so many variables. So you have to rephrase your question. And it's a valid question. I'm not even knocking it. What are you willing to go through to get it? Like, as I said earlier, as we were talking earlier, is like, why would I believe you? Why are you going to believe me? I don't know. I've done this 24 years. 5,000 deals. I think I've kind of proven my point. I've definitely done exactly what I said I'm doing. The question is, are you going to, but you're going to have to go the same journey I started. I wish I could skip you to 24 years. There's a lot of pain along that way. And my job is to save you guys from some of the pain. But the reality is, I cannot tell you exactly what the outcome is going to be. And that's the reality of the business world we live in now. I don't care if you're driving people with Uber. That's like saying, how many rides am I going to get today? I go, well, I'll get you 10 rides, but I can't guarantee you, and I'm going to take a cut of that action. You guys know how that works out. So, I ask my lawyer all the time, what are the odds of me winning the case? And they always start off with a good number. And by the time we get halfway through, it's the same answer every time. Guess what it is? 50-50, Rick. Because the final decision is out of his hands. And here's the point is that the final decision's out of your hands. It's in the seller's hands. But what you can influence is the attitude you bring and the energy level you bring towards learning how to be a successful wholesaler. And I've shared in today's live stream all the crap I know doesn't work for a fact. Just look at all the commenters, everything they've said on it. And if I can just at least tell you to stop that. So let me jump on this one here. I could be getting trolled or this could be truth. I'm homeless. Tell me how to start. Do you see what's scrolling on the bottom of my screen? Does everybody understand how, like, the point I'm getting at here? We're in a society where everybody wants something done for them. And by the way, I don't care if you're homeless. I have a gentleman stuck in jail. In jail. He's done 6 deals with me and Zach. Completely locked up. Can't. So if I'm homeless, I'm going to a library. I'm finding these lists and I'm going to find a way to get in touch with them. Because nobody cares where you come from. It's where are you going? Period. It doesn't matter. Like, that's the beautiful thing about wholesaling. Well, I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if you're sitting in jail. I don't care if you're 15. Somebody asked me earlier, let me put this one up here. Great questions, by the way, today. Go to freewholesaling.com. That's where you start. And then go into your local library and get stuff started. Let's see here. DR33, send me an email at support@flipwithrick.com. We can straighten out your M2M. I don't know the details, so we can find it. Here's the next one. What advice would you give someone under the age to be able to close contracts? Dude, I did this with Zach. He was 16 when he started. I don't know how old you are, but like, you can get a parent, you can get a colleague, you can get a friend to help you sign the contracts. That is some of the best learning you get, because your age, it's only in your mind. Like, you're on this live stream. I believe in you. So we have to understand that. Somebody asked, I got to double check here. Let's see here. I always forget to do this. Let's see. Copy. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So somebody asked, let me put it up here. Where is it? Okay, I'll put it up. I always forget. Honestly, I don't really make money. Last time I did it, like, one shirt sold out like so fast. The company called me and said, "Hey," so I'll put it in the comments here. If you want to get merchandise, you can go here. And I put it right there. I think of there. Swag.xleads.com. I think that was it. Let's see here. Yeah, it's there. It's so the hoodies are very popular because it's cold as hell throughout the country. But if you want to go there, you can check it out. And guys, listen to me. Let me get this off the screen here. Making $1 million is not that big of a deal anymore. And like most of you in regular jobs, you've already done it. But the idea is making $1 million in wholesaling gives you so many more freedoms than $1 million you'd ever make in your job. Because number one, we can teach you how to actually keep more of that money. If you guys just have a W-2 and you don't have a way to take any deductions other than standard government deductions, it just means you're accepting what life gives you. And although it's painful to do taxes, I have accountants, CPAs, tax strategists. But you know what? You know what was most painful for me when I just had a W-2 job? I'd give them my W-2 and then bam, hey, you owe this. Or what about when you used to get excited for a tax refund? Do you know if you get a tax refund, you got burnt bad? The government took your money, interest-free, used it, and then gave it back to you a year later. Like, that's not how I want you to do it. So if you want to learn how to do it, even if you made $1 million in your job, say you did it over 2 or 3 years, if you did it in wholesaling, what if I told you you would automatically get a 40% pay raise? That's right. Even if you make 100 grand your first year in wholesaling, which is a no-brainer to me, it would be making like $140,000 on a W-2. So if you don't have deductions, stuff like that, open your eyes up, guys. The government's fully taking advantage of you. Your employers take advantage of you, and stop working on everybody else's dream and get to work. I don't care how you get there. I can tell you, when I got into wholesaling, I gave up a lot. I worked a full-time corporate job, went and saw customers weekends, nights, whatever I had to do to make it there. And I hated my job with a passion, but I didn't have a choice. I was responsible to my family. I'm not telling you guys to be reckless, But if you want to make a change, don't wait till you get frustrated like me. Let 12 years build up, because that was rock bottom. And some of you have options right now. Like the kid that's the RN nurse that's 21, he's telling me he's dead. It's just your mindset's dead, and you have to change it. Guys, wholesaling has changed my life. It's changed the trajectory of my life. My son saw what I did. I stopped preaching to him, and I actually started teaching to him, and I led. You know how I led? I just did deals. I put my nose to the pavement for 7 years, and I never looked up. But some of you struggle with just even making your first phone call. That's fine. You got to bring a new mindset to the wholesaling game, and your entire life can change. So if you guys want to start it out, make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. I got it scrolling on the bottom. And if you got value from today's video, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. I do this 100% for free. I don't sell you like affiliate programs. Yes, I own XLeads.com, but for the most part, I've always brought you everything free, and I really don't plan on changing it. Remember, everybody in this business told me what me and Zach were doing, there's no way you could last. I am all about consistency, discipline, and showing up. So if I can show up, the least I can ask you to show up. Guys, get to that first deal. It'll make your first 10 grand. It'll turn into 100 grand. And you're going to be pushing the entire way with your will and your might. And then once you get that 100 grand, I'm going to teach you how to pull on the other side, teach you how to scale. The $1 million will go like that. We teach you how to do some tax saving stuff. Honestly, you will outperform 98% of people in the United States just by stepping up with wholesaling. It's up to you guys. It ain't for everyone, but I believe if you're watching it, it's meant for you. So guys, I love everyone. You make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash that like button. This is Rick, and I will see you Thursday with Zach. I'll see you then.